jump right towards the draft.
Yeah, and we're going to start things off. You know, the Fanny Farmis, Fredrin, Ling. I mean, these are. I'm not too surprised here. Just kind of slow down the hyper carries that can kind of take over. So nothing too impressive there. But the Valentina, that's another ban. Your thoughts on that one?
I think Valentina is just meant for that utility, showing that Toda does not want to pick this. Maybe they're prioritizing something else. I hope it's not Uranus. Please no. If anything, maybe contesting Lancelot away from Super Ken would be the idea to go, because Super Ken, like as I mentioned, Star Jungler is so amazing
Dexter.
on this lane. So overall, but I hear the Claude then over from the side of Bigatron Alpha. So they're just like playing like a matter of chess, but this also means like there are options like the Lancelot, Glue, Uranus. These are all picks I would say like they are able to play around for now. I think these are pretty good options for the side Toda.
Yeah, sorry. Which of the ones you just named right now would you think to be the first pick though? Right.
I think if they really respect like Super Ken's Lancelot, it's like I think he will go for it. But I hear Kadita, so instantly it tells a story of how Bigatron Alpha, like they want to be able to prioritize like going for pickups early on and denying it away ensures that they don't get this early game snowball. Toda is playing for it, but my only like beef with Kadita is that if you're unable to get this early game pickoffs, you tend to be just another body to throw towards the mid to late game, which I think Toda, this review is okay, but this opens up Lancelot for the side of Super Ken, and in this case, they actually picked up the Paquito as well as the Kaja early on, which is really interesting and shows that Bigatron are showing a really different side.
I mean, not all that different. I mean, it's still very, I would say, a good, decent counter. I mean, you talk about the mobility and the catcher. Kaja is perfect for that, right? I think that you do have a lot of play for that. The Paquito is a little bit more, you know, I'm not too worried about it. I still think it's very early. Yeah, you can flex it almost anywhere. But the Beatrix pick here, I think that it's okay as a gold laner, especially early. And I know that Todak really like to focus on that Beatrix. They think it's very strong, at least going on right now.
Agree. And instantly you see how Toda intends to play. They pick the Kufa really early on. I'm not sure about revealing the roam so early in towards. Instantly, this is not Kadita roam. It's not flex in either way. This is Kadita mid. Instantly, this is information that Bigatron knows. And Beatrix is just like generally like really safe pick to pick on early on, because the fact that Bigatron has already banned out the Claude just shows that they want to be able to pick up Beatrix for themselves. And for the side of Bigatron, I would agree. Paquito is like a really good flex pick. Super Ken has really showed up on this pick, so it really tells me like maybe they're leaning away from that assassin meta in a way. But for now, Melissa, this is not a hero we usually see, and this is a big counter towards the Kufra.
Yeah, it has a lot of potential. I mean, just get off me kind of thing, go away, and very. I'm okay with that, right? They've shown the Beatrix. They know that the laning phase can be somewhat 50-50, but you have options, right? Showing against the Kufra, very, you know, I like that. I think that Bigatron Alpha, though, still very flexible, and I do like the way that their draft is kind of shaping out, where you look at the matchup more than anything else. So they still have a lot of options ahead of them.
Your team is banished.
And it shows instantly the interesting. They ban out Trisla. I can't believe that this hero is like up and coming in this meta. Like Gideon, like one of our English casters, would definitely be really happy about it. Like the amount of sustainability and like surprising amount of damage he dishes out if you have the right like itemization as well as emblem is really shocking. But I think instantly this might be a telltale of that Paquito going towards EXP, because like you want to ensure that Paquito has the base lane if possible, a winning lane ideally, and Trisla kind of counters it. And you can see that Toda is reading onto this, bans out the Lancelot. It shows that they're not just playing it, and they also don't want this to fall in the hands of Super Ken. So instantly, I think Todak has the right idea going for them.
Yeah, yeah. I do agree. And, you know, the Terizla, we saw how powerful it can be in game one earlier today. It's 3-0 at MPL Indonesia, so it does have some warrants. It has 0 bans against it. So I think it's still one of those things where it's like a secret pick, but the secret is kind of out of the bag at this point, and teams are kind of getting accustomed to it. But the Uranus ban here, the Farza ban in return, I think that those bans are all right to kind of round out each of the enemy teams.
The falling stars brought us
I think
here.
overall, just
Your
released
team is
Janitor Plus. I
picking.
can't believe that Novaria has gotten this far, but she's really vulnerable when by the burst from Candida or getting catched out by the Kufra. I guess maybe they'll be playing around with Sakin a lot with this Melissa to ensure that the go away protects him. But Novara is a hero that really wants to play from afar and watch their positioning. And I'm a bit concerned in terms of the damage from Saya Bigatron Alpha. They're going to really rely on this Melissa's Vakido to like dish out the damage. And I think Farsa being banned out, I think it's like it's all right. It's more of like Kadita is a direct counter for this hero pick. So it's rather maybe they're just closing in their options and ensuring that Bigatron does not give Moreno his comfort picks overall. And overall, Holler, oh, what do you think of this?
And not a single worthy
I'm okay
foe.
with it on both ends. I think that you have a lot of options with what they're going for. I mean, the Martis there and has a lot of potential to just kind of burst guys in. But, you know, this is a situation where they've gone with that and the Direth. I mean, like, I'm going to throw it right back to you in terms of this combination. Like, what are your thoughts?
Just shredding through their opponent, like just running them down. I think that's the idea coming out from Toda. Like this is the second time Durov is picked up across like Stream B's matchup and by a Malaysian team once again. I'm really excited to see, but of course, like ensure that you have to land your skills. I think this is point blank one. It's like most of the setup is going to come from this Kufra pick, and from side Bigatron, what are the answers for it? Masha.
Okay.
Interesting.
Okay. Might as well, right? I think we've seen almost everything today, and decent pick. I'm okay with this draft. Your thoughts on this one? Okay, I would think that. Okay, I think I have my favorite, but what is your favorite going into this one?
I'm liking Todak's draft. It's like it paints a really clear picture because with Bigatron Alpha, it's like where's their play potential? Like they're playing for the pickoffs with the Divine Judgment, but otherwise like the damage coming through, it's gonna come in quite like it requires a fair bit of scaling. So I'm a bit worried about their early to mid, but I think overall we're just gonna see how this overall synergy will work. This is going to be the first game of Todak versus Bigatron Alpha. Honestly, I'm really psyched to see. But for now, what are your thoughts?
To be honest, I don't like Bigatron Alpha's draft. I don't know how the Novaria really kind of gels with everything. Yeah, you have your Melissa, but you talk about the long range, support, so to speak, and the amount of burst that they have, and it looks like Todak just want to run at you. It's going to be very difficult to find that space. Yeah, you have the Kaja, you have the Maja, and the Paquito, and you have other squishier or like tankier guys to kind of get in the way to protect the squishies, but I don't know if that's enough. Positioning is going to matter. I think it's going to really come back to who can, get that perfect engagement, that perfect team fight. Because again, Todak, their team composition is somewhat easy. Where monkey see, monkey go, right? And I'm just going to attack you. And I think it's going to be somewhat difficult for Bigatron Alpha to kind of create that space.
If what you're trying to say is Chodak's draft is slightly easier to execute, I do see how their pieces are coming together. But for Bigatron, it's like unless like we jump into the game right now and we see how this will play out, I'm like questioning like how all this synergize, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, look, Bigatron Alpha's their lineup is kind of going to rely on Melissa, making sure you have the farm and you go to and carry the game, right? I think everybody else must win their lane, create a lot of space so that Melissa can just have all the time in the world to farm up as long as she needs, so to speak, to get as much farm as possible. But I don't know if they're going to have that much time. Todak are going to force the issue, and they're going to kind of just push things as soon as possible. They're going to be very aggressive, which is a tough spot to be in when, again, you just want to go to the late game.
Yep, exactly. It's like if Todak's plans goes accordingly, they're going to just death ball out the control from start to end. I don't think Bigatron have enough answers for it as of now. It's kind of like, okay, Masha, you locked down the one Divine Judgment, single target CC as well. What are you gonna do if the rest of your backline is gonna get picked off one after the other? If anything, your front line is vulnerable as well. Paquito, even though like I like the adjustment, he gets a lot more sustain with the amount of shields he get with he's able to get out his skills. But even so, he's not exactly a tanky jungler. He wants to go for that one shot, one kill kind of like pick-offs. That's what you want to play around. But I'm not seeing it unless like Todak makes like a lot of early game mistakes. I'm not sure how Bigatron's able to capitalize on the issue.
Yeah. And you kind of talked about it, right? The Divine Judgment from Kaja, getting in, lassoing the guy, and bursting them down. But, even with the lineup, I mean, yeah, you have your Melissa, Paquito, yeah, you can get some damage out of that. But is it enough to kind of really focus it down? I mean, I think that it's going to be a tough situation. I mean, I don't want to say that this game is over, especially since we haven't started, but it's really going to come down to that laning phase, because I feel like if Bigatron Alpha can't get a good laning phase or come out at least 50-50, maybe 60-40, they're going to have a really rough time.
I think ideally is that they go like evenly trades 50-50 until towards the late game, and then they finally scale up. That is ideal because, as you're saying, there is a lack of consistent DPS from the side of Bigatron Alpha, which is very worrying. And I wonder if they're just trying out something new, because they're kind of like backed themselves into a corner. I'm expecting more aggressive, more early to mid kind of picks from them, but that Masha really thrown me off. Like, this Masha is not what you've seen like in last year, where they can just like invade jungle and just chunk your jungler to like close to 0 HP. That's not how it is anymore whatsoever.
Yeah, definitely not. Yeah, but it's just going to be finding it out. I mean, just trying to get in, just forcing the issue. And I think that the junglers have been quite powerful. You got to stop it at some point, right? So, again, there's so many different ways that this can kind of play out, right? I think, again, the first 5 to 10 minutes will be the most important for Bigatron Alpha, right? If Todak somehow messed this up, it's going to be because they didn't have a good laning phase, right? That allowed Bigatron Alpha to get into the game, to get themselves on farm, to kind of just control it. But again, if Todak win big in the laning phase, this game, I think, can snowball out of control very quickly.
If one thing I learned from watching Todak of my years being an MLBB fan is that their macro play is really impeccable, and it was like their ability to split push and create space across the map has been the comeback factor for this team. And if Bigatron doesn't watch their back, that is something they just have to watch out for. Yes, this is a very new lineup from the side of Todak, which most of us have not seen them perform. I mean, this is a proving point for all of us back at home. I'm back at home watching this, holding my breath, wondering how will they come up on top. I think for now their draft is very ideal. But from Bigatron, this is a team with a lot of experience, an organization backing them up. I'm pretty sure that they have the mechanics, but do they have the right tools to deal with the lineup that is Todak?
Okay, actually, let's talk about something that you brought up a long time earlier today, in the sense of Bigatron Alpha, the hiring of the securing of the 11-year-old. Can we get some more details on that? Like, who is this person?
He's so cute. I don't quite remember the name. It's like about 1 week plus ago, but he's a really great kid, really polite. His Fanny play is insane, and I can't play Fanny like that. I can't even play most assassin junglers. I'm trying to learn, but man, these kids, like, you raise them to be the future prodigies support your teams. That is the future of MLBB. And honestly, it's really terrifying that they're sitting, like, you never know if they're like in your ranked games, and if you're getting demolished at the other end, it just could be this like 11-year-old kid like just giggling and be like, "Hey, GG, well played," like from the corners of his room. I think that is quite terrifying, Holler.
I feel like you're speaking from experience here, right? Like the fact that when you're losing, you're like, oh, that guy must be 11 years old. He has no life, and I hope he goes pro or something like that. No?
I mean, I do want like to see more like, you know, young people to be inspired to chase their dreams, whether either it's esports or, you know, wanting to be like players. I'm all for it. It's like, but having so much support and backing from your a good support system, family, organization, believing, trusting you. Like this is like the future in the making, and that's something that I'm really looking forward to see. And really thankful to Snapdragon for like having this like long drawn out like tournament from open qualifiers, open finals to now like we're like in deep waters, and the teams that really they fought their way through, it's going to be devastating after when the group stages are over and you're just like just short by just a bit. Imagine that's how close you are to taste victory, being the top 6 among like hundreds of teams that played.
Yeah, it's actually kind of crazy. I mean, honestly, like all the way from May, all the amount of games that have been played, all the open qualifiers, everything just building up to the culmination of this point. The fact that you have, you know, 3 days for the groups and then you have 3 days for the finals and it's going to go to the weekend. I mean, there's a lot of good MLBB that's going to be there. We've seen the precipice of all the teams. This is probably, I mean, I don't want to say that these are the de facto top 12 in the world right now. I think that there's some definitely gray areas and great, you know, teams in that sense, but you're getting very close. Like you definitely have the top.
I mean,
sorry?
This is, sorry to cut you off there, but this is the best that Southeast Asia has to offer. We're not counting like the other MPL regions. From MENA recently, we're seeing like have you seen the recent like Mongolian team going head to head with Philippines? That was insane. These are all these hidden gems that are hiding all across the world, and the fact that we're all being able to come as one to increase the competitive of our Southeast Asia region is just great, because I want like our region to stay strong in the face of our international competitors. Because hey, I mean, see pride.
Yeah, well, see pride is best pride, right? Like, I mean, the fact that like look at any of the M winners, right? Like all of them, it's been the same, right? It's like the dominance is there. I'm actually wondering how, you know, like I'm not Singaporean, but I do live in Singapore, and I've seen how the league is done, and in the sense of like I want to see them do well, but it's very difficult when the C region is just absolutely crazy with the amount of talent, how much, you know, how competitive it is. It's very difficult to beat the Indonesia, Philippine teams, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure, but basically it's the matter, like the teams are as strong as the ecosystem that's built around them. I don't want to get too technical here. It's like, I don't want to go all like, you know, oh, businesses, administration, like how this whole thing runs like drawn out. But overall, it's like you're only strong as your support system. I think this is really clear. Your fans watching at home, the organization, the sponsors, like production team in the back, we're all here because we're all passionate about the game. And I feel like I'm being really long-winded here. Bear with us, everyone. We just want to sort out all the technical issues and provide you the best MLBB experience possible throughout like the next 3 days, because you're kind of stuck with me, Holler, for the next games.
All good. Happy to be on this journey with you. I mean, we've got this series, we got the next one as well, and there's a lot of MLBB coming at you. And I mean, look at this. Okay, if we have to judge the guy's posture, right? Like this guy's posture, probably not the best, right?
I mean, like, you know, you don't want to be nervous. You gotta like take your shoes off, jump on your chair, be as comfortable as possible. Obviously, you know, when they get into the game, he will sit back down properly. But the idea is like to relax. Remember, this is still your favorite game, you want to have fun. I was once like in this kind of fun match kind of situation, and sitting in that chair is terrifying. My hands are shaking. I keep accidentally closing the game by accident, and that won't happen if you have the latest Samsung Galaxy. But oh, we're hearing a countdown from production. We'll be jumping right in towards the Land of Dawn. Sorry for the wait, everyone. This is going to be game 1 of Todak versus Bigatron Alpha. Holler, take it away.
All right, we're going to go in. This is going to be the second series, game 1. We're finally here into the game. Bigatron Alpha going up against Todak Esports here. Just kind of, this is the series that we wanted to see, right? Exactly how does Todak match up against all of the, the Bigatron Alphas of the world? Bigatron Alpha off a 2-0 lead or 2-0 game series from MPL Indonesia. They've done quite well getting themselves in this. And it looks like they want to start things off and just fight. Hazelnut has to flicker just to safety. He gets away.
Yep, just straight off, I would say both teams are like definitely not to let go of this aggression early on. They're aware of what's at stake. You can see that Super Ken just farming as much as can. And remember, everyone, you can watch live in Jakarta the mobile challenge finals. But overall, Yumi taken very low. He's going to be first blood. Just off the bat.
Super Ken will secure that one. Yeah, that's the way to do it, right? They knew he was low. He had no real chance to get away and ensure that they got the kill right here. But, for some reason, the score is not being updated on that one. But yes, that was a first blood going the way of Super Ken. That's something that you want and you don't want to see as a Todak fan.
Yeah, definitely the best start for Paquito as of yet. Todak, they really shouldn't underestimate the damage that's coming out from Bigatron Alpha. It's like, not to say they don't have consistent damage, there's still something that they have to be wary about. Remember, objective gameplay. This Masha is actually being a real nuisance overall. Malik just like zoning the members out. This is going to be the first turtle being contested. Malik, for now, I think overall he's a good position to take it. As long as Super Vin does not land the Divine Judgment to him, he is looking for it. Astral Echo has been popped to reveal the vision of the side of Todak. They will back off for now.
Yeah, no real, I mean, you don't need to force it, right? Amos is a little low. He's going to be backing off. He's about half-life. But there's the Tyrant's Revenge. That's going to knock him up. Super Vin is going to go down. Malik will secure that one. Carrizo's on the prowl, trying to just focus on the attention onto Malik. But I don't know if that's the right target. Now Carrizo's getting bursted. He's down to his last C-bar. He's getting knocked up. He gets blown up. Malik is doing it. And now this is going to be an easy turtle going the way of Todak.
3 HP bars, that's not gonna matter if you're gonna be like you stay for too long, you don't manage it well, you're gonna be bursted down from the side of Todak. This is something that BTR has to be worried about. And this is looking to be a really good start for Malik, like 2-0-0. This is something that as Bigatron fan you don't want to see from Todak.
Yes, and I mean, it's fine. I think they've, Todak have done what they wanted to do. They've got 2-1. It's a negligible net worth lead at this point. But they're putting themselves in a pretty decent position. Bigatron Alpha wanted to get, they wanted to kind of make sure that they have a decent laning phase. They've done that with that first blood from Super Ken. But now they've got 4 members of Bigatron Alpha. They got the Tyrant's Revenge. He's been knocked back into the Echo, though. And I think Super Vin is not going to get the actual Divine Judgment off. And it looks like everybody's going to disengage.
Outing there with Novaria, but deciding to just disengage because just to know, Bigatron Alpha, they were in a numbers advantage on top side. They could go for a Yumi, but I'm not sure why they're deciding to just back off from there. Quite strange.
Yeah, I think it was, they're just trying to play a little reserve. They don't need to force the issue. Just, we can play to the late game kind of thing, so we just need to slow down. But they do need to provide space for Super Ken. I think that he is your win condition. Make sure that he gets as much farm as possible. And as I say that, Saken will push the top lane and force the issue there. But the nice Divine Judgment, Marlsey not able to get away. He's going to be killed, and 2-2.
Yep, just taken too much damage. Like, your iframes are not going to save you for now. And you need really, like, spotters hard on, a lot of pressure. Astro as well. Holler, watch out!
Tyrant's Revenge. Super Vin, he did get knocked up. The bouncy ball throws him back in, but it looks like that's going to be pretty much the end as Malik goes for Marino, gets the knockoff. Marino trying to get away, not able to do so. Very static. Renner's Apathy is going to snipe on, but not enough damage. That's on to Sakin.
I did see that he used his ult, but basically not enough damage, and just one more basic attack should do the job. Super Vin just poking Hazelnut for now. Not gonna land onto anyone. Sakin's positioning is really good overall now, but the turtle is going to be the focus down bottom for the side of Bigatron Alpha.
Okay, 4 Maze now, so Rizzo is also there as well. They're gonna kind of back off, and it looks like Super Ken did some damage on a 4 Maze. They back off. Super Ken sticking around though. I don't know if they're gonna go for this turtle. As I say that, Hazelnut is making an appearance to the turtle.
Yeah, I think overall, like, both sides showing their heads, and for me, he's a very experienced jungler, but dealing with the Masha is quite a pain in the butt overall. You can see both sides are not really forcing anything. Will they reset the turtle? I think they would.
Yeah, it's kind of bouncing around. Yeah, he's going to slowly start to heal at this point. Hazelnut trying to provide as much vision as possible. Malik just trying to farm, get that red buff. They do have the sphere is a little off the mark. Zarizo's still sticking up front. This turtle dance has been quite prolonged.
Yeah, they're just, like, let's say, waltzing around. No one wants to take it. No one is willing to make the first move. It feels like both teams are just really respecting and being really wary of each other. But turn out they have a timer on their hits. Marquise unable to get these early to make pickoffs. It's like I'm not seeing the snowball come true. Astro Echo again, just to reveal Malik. They're not sure where the side of Toda are. Malik just gonna take this, but Super Ken steals it away.
Yeah, you always need to know where Super Ken is. You need somebody, you try to go, isolate it with Malik all by himself, but you need somebody providing vision where you think Super Ken is going to be, because he's going to steal it from under your nose just like he did right there.
Yeah, there's a reason why, like, a lot of eyes on Super Ken. Ooh, they're keeping an eye on towards Hazelnut. He's taking a fair bit of damage. He's going to be alright, but Super Vin looking for someone to buy judgment.
Oh, Malik, he went in too deep. Oh, that's not where you want to go. And Super Ken will get the shutdown. He gets Malik as well. And it seemed like they were not on the same page as Malik went very, very aggressively with Marzi, and Marzi just got caught out. Not where you want to be.
Killing spree onto a Super Ken. Like, that shutdown was really massive. Moreno's not really landing those stars shatter. It's a bit surprising. I do remember that he has a good amount of practice on this hero, but maybe he didn't quite have enough time to surely, like, maximize this. But overall, in terms of the emblem choice, nothing too outstanding as of yet. You see that multiple people use Quantum Charge. It's just that you're able to get the additional amount of sustain healing whenever you use your basic attack, which is really nice.
Okay, you're calling out Marino on his lack of playmaking ability, and you don't think he's got enough practice. Monchel, where can they find you on social media?
Oh, don't call me that. Moreno's job is not really about playmaking. It's on to Super Vin to, like, capitalize whenever he uses Astro Echo. But Marcy, oh, he almost got taken out there. His passive will save him. But it's not to Moreno. It's actually on to Super Vin for this playmaking, finding these catches. And as I said, that he gets poked out by Farmace.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. Actually, I think Marino just needs to be kind of like average, right? He needs to hit the occasional one. Obviously, the Echo helps. But hitting that sphere is, he needs to hit it, like, the threat of it needs to be there. He needs that damage so that it could potentially get, like, a decent chunk of change with each shot that you do. But it's one of those things where it's not everything is on him, right? It really does come down to the team.
It's just about poke, like, by providing vision. That's his job. He provides to Bigatron Alpha, which he does right now.
Look at that vision. All 5 of them are gonna be hit there. Ayumi's on the wrong side of that, and that you don't want to see the Beatrix up front tanking most of that. He's been killed. Now the Lord is gonna be wide open. Assure Aura's gonna be off the mark. Ooh. Hazelnut goes in for this one. I don't know if that's the right play. The Tyrant's Revenge, they do get Vin. They get something in return. Now Formace is gonna pay for his sin, so to speak. So Rizzo will secure that, but they've gotten the Lord, Bigatron Alpha, and now Todak are all on the run. What can they do? And there you go. Marino gets the spear, gets the shot, and says, take that, Monchel. I need to actually practice? I don't think so.
Hey, the fact that I'm being a bit harsh on Moreno because I'm a huge fan of his Farsa, all the artillery mages that I've seen from him, like in other tournaments which I've casted. I really enjoy watching him play, and he's a staple. He's one of the stars for Bigatron Alpha. So it's a bit of a caster curse. I just have to, talk a bit badly about the player for them to really show us what they got. I'm all for it. Just call me out.
Well, you called him out. You forced the issue, and he's like, all right, I'm going to start making plays. I'm going to be second on the damage leaderboard here, just under Super Ken. But it's one of those things where, yeah, you can hit it, but the one time that you do, you're going to get a kill like that. And that's what they need. It pretty much, Bigatron Alpha, the rest of the team really need to step up and make sure that he has a good game. But the pressure is not on Marino to make all the plays.
Definitely, Astro Echo. Oh, he's dead. Hazelnut is just dead. The Lord just crashing down.
Judgment.
Captured by also multiple people.
Zorizo is going to be killed, and Uyumi, that's actually a good trade for him. He wanted to do it, but Formaze is going to be killed again. Marino with another snipe shot, but it's 2-3. Bigatron Alpha actually the losers, although they did a little chip damage on that T3 top.
Martisi, that was... Whoa, that Petroy knockup onto multiple people. Bigatron Alpha, you're forgetting there's a Kadena on the opposite side. That was a bit of overconfidence from Bigatron Alpha. As we're we're praising one team and then the other happens. Oh my goodness, caster curse across the board.
Well, Ayumi, that was one of those things where the positioning was better. He was in the back. He was getting some good shots in. That's what you want to see more of, not like the other one where he got killed and he was kind of out of position altogether. Ayumi needs to be protected, right? He's the one that's going to do most of that damage. You have the rest of your team to kind of keep that control, but it's one of those situations where you got to understand the limits of your team. The team coordination has got to be on point.
Even though that slight misstep from Bigatron just grouping up a bit too much, but they still have the map pressure across the board. You can see that the fact that Toadal has not secured any turrets whatsoever is very worrying for the Swordfishes.
Yeah, pretty rough situation there. I mean, they've gotten one objective in the turtle in that sense, but they really haven't had that space, right? Bigatron Alpha, from the beginning, has, from that first blood from Super Ken, just almost throughout, they've kind of been really aggressive. But as I say that, Super Ken gone on here, but you have that T1 mid to kind of bounce back off on. Dorizo going in, he focuses on Formaze, and it looks like he's going to back off here.
Yeah, I think just go for the objectives. There's no need to force anything as of yet. It's like 5v5 situation, but the Bigatron obviously, they have the pressure and they're going to they get the Lord just like that.
Yeah. This game is starting to get
overall just really strong, yeah.
Yeah, very strong, but their decision making for Bigatron Alpha are on point. Right? They're doing things with a purpose. They're moving around, ensuring that they get the objectives every time it's up, basically making it very difficult for Todak to breathe in this game.
But the fact that Todak, with this amount of early game damage, they have Martis, they have Durov, they have Kadena, they should be ones setting the tempo, but BTR, I think they're simply just identifying the movements across the map, not giving them that kind of opportunity to have that snowball. Instantly, you can see BTR with amount of experience they have under their handle. This is the reason why they're team to be feared in this tournament.
Oh, they did some work on that one, and it looks like Malik is going to have to run as well. Formaze is back in the fountain, already healing, and it looks like Bigatron Alpha are making their way to the bottom. They have the minion wave. They're going to try to do as much chip damage as possible as half of the team from Todak deal with that Lord. Zoriozo's in the back, and it looks like they're going to go for the conceal play. They're trying to find the right target. They haven't found it yet, but they got Marzi, and that's going to be a huge one. Sakin does actually end up getting something in return, but it looks like Malik will be killed. Super Ken is on point. They're looking to clean up. Formaze is next on that list. That's the first target, and it looks like they've got the base. Game one going the way of Bigatron Alpha.